If you've seen some of my other videos here on the channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Line 6 HX Stomp. It offers a ton of value and flexibility, giving you the ability to run direct using amp models and cabs and cab IRs, and it has a wide range of effects. All of those options at the price point makes it super competitive and super attractive to someone like me who needs great effects, but also every now and then needs a direct option. All that being said, you might ask yourself, why did I just buy this? Today, I want to give you some of my first impressions, some pros and cons, and ultimately why I decided to buy Strymon's first entry into the modeling market. So there are a few reasons that I bought the Iridium. The main reason being that as great as the HX Stomp is, it can be limited when you are trying to run amp models and a lot of different effects. I found myself constantly running out of blocks or DSP and not being able to use certain effects that I'd wanted to when I was using amp models. What this ended up creating is a situation where if I was playing with my amps, I could have certain effects, and then when I was playing with the amp models using a direct sound, I had to use totally different effects and have a different setup. And I just didn't like the back and forth. I'd rather have it more consistent and be able to use the effects that I want to on the HX Stomp. So with the Iridium, I can have whatever effects I want to on the HX Stomp and not have to worry about running the amp models and the cab IRs inside of it, and I'm running them elsewhere. Because the Iridium has the ability to turn the modeling off, it also got me thinking that if there was an amp model on the HX Stomp that I wanted to use, then I could offload my IRs from the HX Stomp and just use the Iridium to run those IRs, freeing up some space and DSP on the HX Stomp for more effects. In the end, using the Iridium on my pedal board gives me a lot more flexibility with the HX Stomp and just allows me some different options and ability to run things in different ways. So after getting the Iridium, I had a realization of another way that I could use it. The ability to turn off the amp models inside the Iridium allows me to just use it as a cab IR loader. If you've seen some other videos, you know that I record a lot using my amps running direct through two 2-notes captors. I have a 4 and an 8 ohm that I use for different amps. Typically, I'm using the 2-notes wall of sound plugin in my DAW to run different cab IRs, and I like the flexibility that it gives me. I can change the IRs after the fact, after I've recorded it, to get guitars to sit in the mix just how I want them to. And there's definitely pros to that setup. The cons for me is that when I'm recording, for a project, say somebody hires me to record guitars here at home and I send them the files, I have to bounce down all of those individual files with the specific IR that I'm using. And if they want multiple takes or they want options, then I have to go through and bounce all of those down, and it just takes a lot longer. So I realized that I could hook up the 2-notes captor into the Iridium with the amp modeling turned off, just so that it's an IR loader, and record direct that way. This allows me to have the IR printed on the track for every pass that I do, every part that I do, and I can send the files along a lot more quickly and easily. So what are my first impressions on it? The track you heard at the beginning of this video, all the guitars and the Rhodes was recording using the Iridium. And I have to say, it sounds really great. I love the simplicity of it. There's not a lot of tweaking options, which sometimes is a good thing. It allows me to get sounds quickly and easily, and it sounds great. I love that you can change out the IRs, that you have the ability to use your own IRs or third-party IRs, and the interface with that is really great. I like that you have 3 IRs that you can flip between for each amp model. Ultimately, that means that you don't have a lot of options, which could be seen as a con, but I think for me, it's a pro. It's a benefit to not get stuck in tweaking and analyzing and overanalyzing the tone. It sounds good, and you tweak it until you get the best sounds, and you go and you make music. So that for me, I really like. In the HX Stomp, sometimes I would get buried in tweaking and trying different things and tweaking this and tweaking that and all the parameters and how they interacted. So I definitely like the simple interface of the Iridium. As I mentioned before, the ability to turn the amp modeling off and just use it as an IR loader is a huge benefit to me. So I definitely like that. And I love that it's stereo. With things like the Kemper, you can't really run stereo very easily with external effects and all of that. So I love that it's small and compact and that you can run stereo. Now, some cons to this is that to run stereo, you kind of have to have this weird breakout cable that's, 2 monos to 1 TRS stereo cable. That's kind of weird to me. I wish that we had just gotten, 2 left and right inputs. But again, it's in a small, compact format, so I get that they had to make compromises there. Another con to me is that it is limited. Even though that's a pro in some regards, the fact that we really only have 3 amp models, we have a Fender style, a Vox style, and a Marshall sound, it's limited. We don't have the options that we do on the HX Stomp. I love all of the different models that are on the HX Stomp, and so only having 3 options definitely seems limited. I would hope in the future that Strymon would add the ability to change out the amp models or give us some new ones, but they haven't teased anything like that, so I don't see them doing that. I would imagine they would just offer us another pedal with some different amp models, but who knows? It seems like the ability is there with the USB connection, but we haven't seen anything like that from them, so I'm not sure that would happen. But Strymon, if you're watching this, that would be amazing to give us some more options. I know that these 3 amp models are not something that everyone is going to make the most use of, and they might find different amp models more useful. So something to think about. So ultimately, the Iridium for me is a win. It sounds great. I love how easily I'm able to get great sounds out of it. It's really punchy. It feels very immediate. I love that about it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to spending some more time with it. I want to try some different IRs and try some of my own IRs in it to see if I can get it sounding even better. But for right now, I'm really happy with it, and I think it's going to be a great fit into my setup. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm definitely going to be doing more videos on the Iridium as I spend some more time with it. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future content. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you out there.